Today's Movie Lovers Unite podcast episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. We decided to partner up with BetterHelp because we know that therapy can help save lives, as well as help mental health, and BetterHelp will help you find the right therapist for you without waiting in a doctor's office. But what is therapy exactly? It's whatever you want it to be. Maybe you're not feeling motivated right now and would like some tools to help. Or maybe you're feeling insecure in relationships or at work, not dealing with the stress. Whatever you need, it's time to stop being ashamed of normal human struggles and start feeling better because you deserve to be happy. And now you don't have to worry about finding an in-person therapist near you to help. BetterHelp is customized online therapy that offers video, phone, or even live chat sessions with your therapist, so you don't have to see anyone on camera. And hello, movie lovers, and welcome to the show. For tonight's podcast episode, I have my good friend Quentin Bennett with me tonight. Say hello to everybody.
Hello, everyone. My name is Quentin Bennett. I'm the creator of Severe Comics.
And tonight we're actually reviewing a very classic animated movie, The Secret of NIMH. Secret of NIMH is my all-time favorite movie whenever you look at the old 80s drawing styles and stuff like that and the storytelling of The Secret of NIMH movie. Another thing, too, is this movie came out on July 2nd, 1982, and the budget was set for $7 million, and it made $14.7 million at that time. That's actually pretty good chunk change for back then for an animated style movie that wasn't connected in with Disney or anything like that. So that was pretty awesome. And plus, also, too, United Artists was actually the ones who winded up funding this movie as well. But the plot line is very simple. It's Mrs. Brassby. She's a widow-filled mouse that lives in a cinder block with her children. And basically what winds up happening is there's this farmer that's about to do his plowing, and that causes her to have to move. But the other problem is her kid actually has pneumonia. So therefore, she has to try and find a way to move her house without having to move her son away from her house and everything, because he's on the verge of dying. So this movie is very dark for its time and everything, especially when you look at the storytelling for this and everything too, because I grew up with animated style, with this kind of animation and stuff like that. But for a kid's movie, this is very dark. I learned about pneumonia at age 5, for crying out loud. So, I don't know what it is or anything like that. Our parents had very dark humor, I guess, and wanted to torment us when we were little. But still, that's what I learned. But what did you think about this movie, though?
To be honest, I completely appreciate this movie because it don't treat the kids audience like a bunch of idiots. We do understand the concept of dying at a young age. At least I did it. And plus,
exactly,
Don Bluth always say you can make the movie or story as dark as you can, but as long as you give it a happy ending.
Exactly. As long as you give it a happy ending and everything, and have something to where you can learn from it.
Yeah.
Those dark there, you have to have some lightness in the darkness, and sometimes darkness shows you the light. I'm quoting Disturbed, but but anyways, I definitely have to say Don DeLuise as the Crow was one of my favorite things. He played Jeremy. My favorite thing is this. I like one of the quotes. He goes, "I think I have a real potential." I mean, girls go for the athletic type, don't they? That's actually my favorite quote in that whole entire thing. Because I find his character very entertaining, and not only that, but he's also afraid of a cat that lives in this farm named Dragon as well.
Who names a cat Dragon?
Well, he was big. I mean,
I know he was big and everything, but it's like naming your cat Lucifer from Cinderella. It's just funny to me.
That's true. But Lucifer, what? To be honest with you, Lucifer was more of a threat than Dragon. Dragon was just lazy.
You know who named that cat and that boy in that movie? That little
Oh wow.
boy. You don't know where that name came from. that little boy.
But you know what though? Behind all that and everything too, when you actually see her, she visits Mr. Ages, a friend of her late husband Jonathan, who's diagnosed with the illness as pneumonia, provides Brisby with medicine and warns her that Timothy must stay inside for at least 3 weeks or he will die. On her way home, Brisby befriends Jeremy, a clumsy but friendly crow. They both narrowly escape from the Fitzbin's cat Dragon. The next day,
always in the animation done in the scene you like see the emotion of Miss Frisbee when she meets Jeremy, like you just see her eyes rolling, like
exactly. Like, how much more time do I have to spend with this stupid crow, right? Like, she's very irritated and everything with Jeremy.
But bless her soul, he tries to be so nice to him.
Exactly. And plus, she's also trying to get him out of that trap when we first see him. Yeah. And everything, and he's over there wiggling and everything else, and there's a cat that's going to be coming to eat me and everything. I need to get out of here. I started thinking to myself, you're a crow, you're bigger than, you know what I mean?
You're gonna wake up, you're gonna Lord Dragon here. He's like, who's Dragon?
Exactly.
He's like, so does he see? He's like, no. Yes.
But yeah, and then all of a sudden he goes, if I was allergic to a cat, I would, and then all of a sudden he sneezes out of the blue and sneezes right into Dragon's face, which is hilarious, by the way. This was something that I have to say though. I feel like Jeremy is the light of this whole entire thing behind that darkness that she has to face. You know, I feel like Mrs. Brassby needs that little bit of lightness, and Jeremy actually brings that lightness out and everything, even though she's getting annoyed with Jeremy. But still, you know, you could definitely tell that she actually needs Jeremy, to be honest with you. And Jeremy needs her just as much as she needs him. So I definitely like that aspect to it, where you actually have two characters who are on the opposite realm. He's a crow, she's a mouse, and you realize, hey, they both need each other to be able to help move her out of that neighborhood before the farmer winds up cutting through her home. So I love that aspect to it.
Yeah, it was a great aspect. This whole story was well played out and perfectly paced as well. Don Bluth pretty much know what he was doing. I always find it fascinating that Disney turned this story down.
I don't know why they turned it down, though, man. I mean,
I think they were having a hard time at the time.
Well, don't forget though, too. I think they were also trying to find their marker at that time, though, too, because they were doing. If you think about it, Disney wasn't known to do dark properties that much or anything like that. This is a very dark property to the point where they would probably.
Don Bluth was working with Disney in the 70s, and that's when after Walt Disney passed away. So Disney was in a deep loss, I believe.
That has a lot to do with it, to be honest with you.
Because Disney was pretty much was leading them through this whole thing, and he got sick and passed away, and they just don't know what to do when it comes to animation projects.
Right, and they don't know if this film would actually gravitate towards a younger crowd, like kids or anything like that, because of how dark it is.
And Don Bluth was like calling them out about it, because they was just doing recycled animation. Because you seen them, if you remember, like the Aristocats, Robin Hood,
right,
so others, you realize there's like this like copy paste animation.
Right, it was pretty much copy and paste animation kind of style, and it's also same repetitive stuff that Disney has shown over the years, to the point where they knew that if they keep on repeating the process, it will still make money no matter what. They were just afraid to go outside of their warehouse and everything and try something new and everything, because they're afraid of. Because here's the thing, I think it was afraid of the reception that parents would actually bring their kids to see something like this, and the critics as well. Because if it was a Disney property, I have a feeling that there would have been some backlash with it.
But it could be that. It could be that, or they just know that they were pretty much the only group of people that does animation itself, and they feel like they don't have to, do much anymore to prove themselves.
True.
Especially Walt Disney got them so far with animation, and Don Bluth was saying, "Dude, you can do so much more. We can do so much more," and they just like push them to the side and say, "No, we're good. We know what we're doing now."
Exactly. And I think that this movie would have made money, to be honest with you, and stuff like that. Because
Disney missed out on this one in the mile.
They definitely did. And also too, I have to say, the other thing that I have to say is this: I love The Legend of the Great Owl as well, because nobody's seen The Great Owl by Mrs. Grasby, right? Yeah. So everybody's like, "Oh, she's lying" or whatever. No one's have seen The Great Owl, and The Great Owl is just telling her where she needs to go to where she can seek help to find it.
I just love the scene of The Great Owl. It was very well done. To a human perspective of an owl.
Yeah. His facial features.
We're just like, ooh, it's an owl. That's awesome. But to a mouse point of view, it's a terrifying sight to behold.
Most definitely, man. Because to a mouse, that thing is massive in size and everything else. And also, too, even the spider part was even scary, too, if you think about it. When she went and saw
the slowly calling.
And here's the thing: I'm a huge arachnophobia person, where I can't stand spiders, and to see it in that massive size and the perspective of the mouse is that much scarier to me, and everything too. Which is what I like. I like the fact that they showed it into the the mouse perspective, and everything. That's something that I really like with the animation style.
The owl was very well designed. Others love that design of the owl.
The owl was great. The big old huge eyes and everything, and the lighting.
You see the webs on him.
It's very detailed. I love the artwork with it, to be honest with you.
And the voice that goes with it was like mysterious and majestic at the same time.
True. Let's see here. Then we also have another thing too that I have in my notes, where Brasby enters the rose bush and encounters an aggressive guard that's named Brutus, who chases her away. She is led back in ages and is amazed to see the rats' use of electricity and technology. That is something that amazes me, though, to be honest with you, that the rats knows how to do electricity and runs electricity and has this big old huge type of mansion.
It wasn't that they know how to run electricity; they were stealing it from the farm.
Right, but borrowing from the farm. But
so we just stick with their terms.
Right. But to me, this is the way I was looking at it, though.
Yeah.
From the rats' perspective, though, they were running it, and they weren't realizing that they were stealing. They were just running off of something that is technology. It's something that they probably haven't even thought about inventing until recently or anything like that. So they decide to steal the technology over from the farm, which is the electricity that keeps everything running. I hate to see that power bill, to be honest with you.
That scene showing the whole rat's hideout was beautiful.
Yeah.
It's you feel like you're in a different world when you see that. And I had to give the Don Bluth's crew a big clap on that one right there. That was well done on that designing.
The design was awesome, man. I mean, it reminds me of a huge mansion that they're staying at. It was like staying at the Ritz-Carlton or something. Yeah. And it's like nothing that you've seen before. It makes Mrs. Basby's house look like projects kind of living, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But but Brassby knows that she can seek help from them because of the fact that they have this technology that can help move this house out of that area. So therefore, she needs them, but she has to persuade them into that too, and also too, she has to try and get the rats to trust her. So we have two things. She's also an outsider.
Yeah, but not only that, but you wanted to see. They were like wanted to Justin.
Oh yeah,
that's an awesome way. He's like, Frisbee's like, ooh.
Yeah, he's just the friendly captain of the guard.
Yeah,
and everything. While Jenner is a rootless, power-hungry rat opposed to Nicodemus, and finally Nicodemus himself.
Yeah, he doesn't look evil at all.
I mean, let me ask you something. You see a rat that has like this king's kind of outfit on. You know what I'm talking about? Like this Napoleon style outfit on, right? What makes you think that you can trust that person? It's like, okay, all these other rats are not having the same kind of outfits that you have on.
Well, it's not only that. But when someone come up to you looking like this, I got an idea. Like, back away.
Right. Let's just do let's just do our social distancing, buddy. Okay. Because seriously, if I went up to this person and all of a sudden he goes, "Hey, I can help you," I'm like, "Okay, dude, you need to relax a little bit."
Oh, you got some sharp teeth there.
Right, exactly. I know one thing. I wouldn't want to be trusting this rat or anything like that because, like I said, the way he dresses, the way he carries himself, there's no way that I would actually trust someone in that nature to try and help me move my sixth son out of the house and everything.
I found Scarface. I found Scar more trustworthy than
that's that's actually a good reference because that's actually what I was thinking too. He's a very he reminds me of Tony Montana in a sense.
Yeah.
He wants the power, he wants the money, he wants it all. So in order for him to get it all, he has to kill Nicodemus.
Yeah.
Just like how Scarface had to kill Frank to get the money and power and to get the woman.
Speaking of Nicodemus, I just love how that door opened and there's such a big glow.
That's true. I definitely love that.
I want my door to do that whenever, especially the bathroom.
Oh good God!
Just open up. Oh.
Enter. But just whatever you do, just don't get get one of the guys though. Either don't get the main rat. That's all I have to say. But like I said, Jenner's a rootless, power-hungry opposed to Nicodemus, and finally Nicodemus himself. From Nicodemus, she learns that many years ago, her husband, along with the rats and ages, were a part of a series of experiments of the National Institute of Mental Health. And that's something I found interesting because next month is actually mental health, which is also why I have the sponsor for BetterHelp.
Yeah.
But, at age 5, I was learning about mental health. And I had no idea that I was learning about mental health.
There's a lot of stuff to that.
Yeah.
You learn about animal abuse. You learn about
physical abuse.
Issues. You learn all kinds of stuff right there.
Exactly. You learn about elderly abuse pretty much.
We going there.
I kind of went dark.
Well, I kind of like how it went because it showed that the rats and the two Mr. Frisbee and ages are pretty much long-lived, have longevity.
Right. Let me ask you something. Did you
like a bunch of Wolverines?
Let me ask you this real quick. Did you like the fact that they actually brought her husband into the picture about what actually happened to him?
Yeah.
Because I like that mystery of not knowing what happened to him, and then all of a sudden she's just shocked, just as shocked as we are about what happened to him.
Yeah, it was good. It was a great closer to her. She needed to know what happened to him.
Exactly, and she never had that closure or anything like that. All she has is her son and her daughters and stuff like that. Which
By the way, that I love how the. I'm sorry about that.
No.
I just love the fact that they actually got kid actors to play the kids.
Yeah, you have Ralph Macchio that played and Will Wheaton. That's just hilarious, dude. Like, and then also too, you actually have the mother from Everybody Loves Raymond playing the aunt, who the kids are actually just torturing her, and just
doing that to herself.
I love the scene with the bubbles, though. The scene with the bubbles made me laugh, though. To be honest with you,
all dramatic and everything.
Oh yeah. Even the kids said that she's so dramatic. Remember?
Oh, why me?
Why me? Why do I have to put up with them? And then one of the kids actually have an attitude with her.
Oh.
But yeah, this.
I just like that she told Miss Frisbee to get on to them, and Miss Frisbee just give them that look, like, and just like, you know better than that.
It's like, come on now. You know that you're not supposed to be acting like this. But, also too, I love the heart that they have into this thing. They know that their brother is dying of pneumonia, and they're trying to make the best of it. Man, and everything with it too.
You see the emotion. They pulled it off so well, in my opinion.
They really did.
Because you see the youngest one, pretty much not, understanding everything. Therefore, she pretty much has a bit of a blank to her face, but more curiosity. Exactly.
That's something that I really liked about it, to be honest with you.
You think that, when the oldest son was feeling bad, you see him rubbing his arm like this, and certain emotion. There's a character right there, because most of the time you see like someone seeing that type of emotion, they would just have a straight arm and just doing this. Well, you can't see, but like this. That's a character.
That's very true, and you have so much depth and so much development into this story that you forget that they're actually mice
until they start crawling around. Like,
that is very true.
I'm sorry.
No. You're good, man. You're good. Seriously. But, I just love it, though. This story is such a classic. And then also, too, like I said before, with the National Institute of Mental Health, that's actually how we get the title of NIMH for short. Yeah. So I found that really cool that they actually decided to name this film after National Institute of Mental Health and then shorten it by saying NIMH, which has this to me, whenever I first saw the title, it had this very mysterious kind of mystical type of feel to it. Kind of like a fantasy type of story that I found fascinating. I remember seeing the VHS tape at my grandmother's house and everything, right? So I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, I need to check this out. There's some mystery to this. NIMH, what does that actually mean? And everything. So I went on ahead, popped it in. I'm just being entertained with this movie for the very first time watching it. And like I said, I haven't seen this movie since then. Then all of a sudden I saw it on YouTube. You can actually stream this on YouTube for free. But this movie is very well done. It brought up every single aspect that I remember from my childhood and things like that. But it brings out more, instead of the humor, it brought out more of the serious stuff, though, this time. And things like that mixed in with the humor. Because we're adults now, so therefore we can actually catch on to the whole entire aspect of what this movie's about and grab onto the little stuff like the mental health, not mental health, but, with everything else.
Yeah, this movie really don't treat you like
an idiot.
Idiot.
Exactly.
Even a kid will pick up on certain elements on it.
Right. And I know that we ended up talking about the National Institute of Mental Health, but the experiments boosted the rats' intelligence, enabling them to escape as well as extending their life pans and slowing their aging process, which I found
Oh yeah,
fascinating with that. And then,
yeah. It
however,
makes you wonder how old all of them are because they never really specify how old they are.
no, they really don't, to be honest with you. It
Because
makes
I think a rat and a mouse can live up to what, maybe
maybe 5 years, maybe.
5 years. I think I can't really remember. Someone in the comment will probably get it right for me.
But I like that idea though, that it's pretty much like they're young forever kind of thing, right? With the
Says
mentality,
about
they have
because Nicodemus was young when he escaped because you see him in
right.
the scene where he was young. Therefore, he was pretty much was. I would say, well, I know that Justin and what was his other's name? The villain.
Hold on.
I can't remember his name now. We were just talking about him.
Yeah. Jenner was his
Yeah,
name.
Jenner. Yeah, Justin and Jenner were the next generation of mice of Mim.
So I'm wondering if the new generation is the ones that are smarter, and the older ones like Nicodemus and everything are the ones before the experiments happen.
Yeah,
That's what I'm thinking.
because what Miss Frisbee said that she can read, that she was taught how to read, but the kids can read a lot better.
Right, and that's also their intelligence as well.
Yeah,
But part of that. So I thought that was actually pretty cool that they could actually read and stuff like that. Also, too, I liked how the farmer was going to go on ahead, get up one morning and try to do the plowing that very day,
yeah,
the next day, and then they winded up. I think it was the ant that winds up pulling the gas and everything else from underneath the tractor.
yeah. It was because Miss Frisbee jumped on it to the tractor, and she was doing everything she can to save her life because
That's right. But also too, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, but still, it was a great moment. I thought it was funny. I just felt like I needed to talk about it. But then of course, in need of human technology, they need humans. Here's another thing: they actually need human technology to survive, which they have accomplished only by stealing, like you mentioned.
yeah,
The rats have eventually settled on the decision to leave the farm and live independently in an area they refer to as Thorn Valley.
yeah,
Nicodemus gives Breastfeed an amulet and tells her it will awaken when the wearer is courageous. And I
yeah.
love the amulet, to be honest with you. The
Yeah,
amulet is beautiful.
it was beautiful design. I would like to buy something like that and just wear it wherever I go.
And you'll be jumped like the very first but him like I really love it though. I mean, seeing it on a 4K TV actually enhances your experience with the film, especially if you haven't seen this film in so many years like I have, and you don't realize how beautiful the amulet actually is until you actually see it again.
Yeah,
And the way that it shines on her is just awesome. And then when she gets it, and then the responsibility of having the amulet, though, too, and everything. Because don't forget, Jenner also wants the amulet. He wants anything that he sees. So
yeah,
now it's up to her to try and keep up with the amulet as well. So I definitely love the responsibility part of Mrs. Breastby having it. And also too, I think it was her husband also too who had the amulet at one time and
yeah.
everything
It was,
too.
if I remember correctly, yeah, he had the helmet for a while, but he gave it to Nicodemus, and he was told to give it to her when she comes.
Right.
I think. Makes me want to have the book.
Then also right, because I actually have this because of the rat's relationship with Jonathan, they agree to help Breastby move her home. But first, they need to drag Dragon to sleep so that they can complete the move safely. Only Breastby can do this, as the rats are too big to fit through the hole leading into the house. Jonathan kills Jonathan was killed by the dragon in a previous attempt, while Aegis broke his leg in another.
Yeah.
Also,
Frisbee
too,
was captured by the
by the damn kid. But another thing, though, too, that I want to mention is this. There was also another thing, too. Remember the other right-hand man that Jenner has?
Yeah.
And he's like, well, we have to help her. No, we don't. We just have to go on ahead and play along with it until something winds up, until we can figure out a way to kill Nicodemus.
Yeah, and this, not many people didn't know about this, but this is actually a little graphic children cartoon animated movie. Remember, they actually showed blood, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, this is definitely graphic, especially the way Nicodemus goes out.
Yeah.
And everything, which is very sad, to be honest with you. Then also, too, like you said before, she winds up, she puts the drug into the cat's dish, but then Frisprin's son, Billy, catches her. Well,
I don't even think she got even near it. No, she didn't even got near it. She was about to get to it, but then the kid got him. Got her. I mean, duh.
Exactly. And, another thing, too, was I forgot Mrs. Brisby got caught and everything. But then also, too, I didn't realize the cage was up in the ceiling area. I'm like, I started thinking to myself, you would do that with birds. You wouldn't necessarily do that with a mouse. You know what I mean? I'm
like, that was interesting. But like, just like any other kid back in the day, we were just, when we catch something, we're like, ooh, and we like the cage.
Exactly. And it's like, how is she going to escape this? And especially her being up there so high, and then also, too, the way that they actually place the water outside of the cage, and then she has to go on ahead, duck underneath the cage to get out where the actual water is and everything, and hold her breath to get out and squeeze her body through it and everything. And you can actually feel, to be honest with you, did you feel any kind of pain when she was doing that? Because I know I did.
I mean, it was a very well done scene because Don Bluth didn't, have to do all that. All he could have just have her just squeeze through the the cage or anything like that. And so you see her pondering, you see her thinking, you see her go through multiple obstacles in it. Like when she cut her wrist when she was trying to unlock the cage.
Right. And then also, too, she also hears a conversation between the farmer and everything, saying that they're going to destroy the rose bush where the rats are actually staying at. Now the rats are actually in more danger than what Mrs. Brassby's in danger at. And then she's trying to hurry up and get out before the farmer winds up killing them, because they're actually helping her.
It's like the farmer reaction when he's like, it'll be for free, right?
Well, it's the 80s. Everything was free back then. The good old days. All that land. Okay, yeah. We'll destroy the rose bush for you for free.
Got that little mustache.
Right. But
it reminds me a little bit of my dad.
But you see, though, man, then also, too, we also have that going on at the same time as the house is actually, when they're pulling the house out, remember?
Oh, yeah.
And so as Mrs. Brisby is getting freed, and then all of a sudden you see Jenner, he whispers to his right-hand man again. He goes, okay, I need you to go ahead and cut the rope as Nicodemus is underneath.
Yeah.
And so that way it looks like it's an accident. And then his right-hand man is actually backing out.
Yeah, he was getting very scared. And Jenner was like, there's no backing out now. You're in this.
Right, you're in this now. There's no backing out of it or anything like that. You have no choice but to do what we tell you to do.
Yeah, and I was like, "Woo, this is
very graphic." But so what winds up happening is this: they wind up cutting the rope, which causes the Nicodemus to actually get killed underneath it. Then the way he dies is just horrific. You don't even expect it. You see then I like how the camera actually panels over to where it shows his lifeless body.
Yeah.
And it gives you that emotional feel to him, because even though he was only introduced for like a few minutes, you have the emotional attachment to that character for that 5 minutes that you actually got to know Nicodemus.
And you like feel the emotion with Justin too. He's just like, oh no. Ooh. You like
exactly.
Because Justin was like the first one in the scene. He was like digging in there to get to him.
And then also too, then we at this time we actually Mrs. Resby. She goes on ahead. She runs up to Jenner, and then she's trying to tell him about the rose bush and everything. Oh, woman, you're just making it up and everything. Everything's fine. The rose bush is gonna be fine. Come on, everybody, we're going back home. And she's like, no, you need to listen to me. The rose bush is gonna be destroyed if you go back home. Everyone's gonna die.
Yeah, and Jenner's like, that is enough. He's like, pulled his sword out. He's like going ballistic. I was like, man, he is so bipolar.
And in the words of Ron Jeremy, not Ron Jeremy, but from Anchorman, that escalated quickly.
Yeah.
But
like, dude, this guy.
Exactly. You just need to chillax, dude. You know, just listen to what Mrs. Presby has to say, and guess what?
All you could have done is maybe just push her down, but you just like. What?
And by the way, we do not. You know what? That's actually domestic abuse that we don't. we don't associate with ourselves on the show. So just letting everybody know. But you know, then after that you actually have the other mouse fighting against Jenner.
Yeah, Justin
winds up fighting against Jenner.
Yeah, and this scene, you know, for this time, this was a very well done sword fight for that time period, because sword fighting in animation, it was very hard to do. You don't really see that much.
That's true. You don't really see a lot of sword fighting or anything like that.
Remember, like in Sleeping Beauty, you see the prince would be fighting the goblins army.
Right.
All he does is do this.
To be honest with you, exactly. It makes it look like it's very stiff whenever he's trying to fight. But you know what though? And they actually figured it out. United Artists actually figured out how to make it not where it's very stiff when moving the sword or anything like that. It really feels more of like a smooth kind of style in the way that they actually did the animation style.
You see blood on the blades and everything. I'm like, dude, this is awesome.
You know what though? In today's time, it'd be rated R for the blood, blood and violence. If this movie would have come out today, it would have been PG-13 or PG-13 for sure. True, PG-13 definitely. But you know, then after that, after the battle with Jenner and everything happens, then all of a sudden Mrs. Resby's house starts sinking into the mud. Yeah. So then they actually have to try and get the house back out of the mud again and everything, and try and get everything back.
Man, that was a very intense scene right there. You think the seeing dragon or getting captured or seeing Brutus? I'm sorry, that scene, seeing Mr. Frisbee going, well, that one man's gonna get us. He's like, he's just like, oh, that's just Buddhist.
That's just Buddhist. It's okay. It happens all the time here.
It gets me all the time. Oh, Buddhist.
Let's see.
Dadgummit, Buddhist.
Anthony Shaw was like that one relative that you couldn't stand. That's very true.
That one aunt you regret seeing at every Christmas.
It's
all
like,
this auntie.
Yeah. So let's see here. Then, like I said, then after that happens, Brisby will, to save her children, gives power to the amulet. which she uses to lift the house and move it safely. The next morning, the rats and Justin, as their new leader, have departed for Thorn Valley. As Timothy begins to recover, Jeremy soon meets Mrs. Wright, another crow who is just as clumsy as he is, and he falls in love.
Yeah, it was a happy ending for everybody.
Even for clumsy people like myself.
But
So there
what
is hope.
about Brutus? What has Brutus been up to?
But yeah, then also too, I also like this other line that Jeremy says. Let's see, but she's not out there somewhere, and when I find her, I'll feel it way down in my wishbone. And then all of a sudden, a what? Cat? Oh man! But if you could actually relate to some of the characters in the movie and everything, could you say that you could relate to, or who stands out?
Brutus. I mean, that's kind of how I am when someone comes to my house. I'm like, "Oh, what you doing? Get out of
Oh dear!
Can you see I'm trying to watch my anime?"
It's those damn Buddhists again. But
Brutus.
But for me, I'm gonna have to go with Jeremy because I'm clumsy. I'm also the type that
you're
pretty
hopeless.
much exactly. I panic over maybe the littlest thing sometimes too. Even though I know I could probably fight off a spider and everything, even though I hate spiders, but it's like the littlest thing for me, stuff like that. So yeah, Jeremy is definitely the standout for me, as far as the character that I can relate to.
Yeah, Don DeLuise always plays a great character.
Most definitely, and going back into the '80s and stuff like that, he played in All Dogs Go to Heaven, All Dogs Go to Heaven 2.
He played in almost every single Don Bluth film there is.
Yes. And if you guys don't know who Don DeLuise is, you guys need to go on ahead and check him out. He is a very comical actor for that time period. And he played in some very good classic films, even animated films, like we mentioned, like All Dogs Go to Heaven. If you haven't seen All Dogs Go to Heaven or anything like that, go on and check that out because I think you guys would actually enjoy it.
Please, for the love of heaven, don't watch Troll in Central Park.
True. That one's
watch that.
No.
If you do, you'll be going to the Exorcist. You'll be wishing for the devil to come inside you.
Let's see here. I love when the kids put her in her place. Yeah, I did too. And then Jeremy is Brandy's favorite too. But yeah.
But what about Brutus?
He's secondary character, But
I'm sorry. I'm just stuck on I can't help myself. What about Brutus?
So I want to actually what I wanted to ask you was this though. What have you been doing lately with your comic book writing and stuff too? That's another thing.
Oh, right now I'm working on a project called Quick and Night. That's going to be a new series that's going to be coming out. Right now, we're working on I'm working on a script on that one right now. There's going to be a new working on a new issue of The Panther, issue 11, pretty soon. We working on Surprise Hawk, issue 9, which is going to be a very fun issue for me because we're going to have a great supervillain team up this time around.
Definitely. I can't wait to actually check out some of your stuff, to be honest with you. I've actually liked a lot of your stuff your content that you sent me in before and stuff like that. So you're doing a very good job for your comics. So I'm just letting you know that. Matter of fact, what I'll do is after the show, go on ahead and send me in some of your stuff, your descriptions of where people can follow you at. So that way people can click on the links and everything. So that way people can check you out.
Oh,
but
cool.
You're very welcome, because I want people to actually check out your comics and stuff like that, because Severe Comics is actually a great little nook that you have. So I just want to put that out there.
Thank you. That means a lot because that hits me right here on my
good
forehead.
Your forehead.
It's just a tiny forehead.
Right. But yeah, another thing too that I'm making a couple of announcements real quick too is this. Next month is our our whole entire deal going into mental health and stuff like that too. So with that being said, we're gonna do movies like What About Bob? We're gonna do we're also gonna do some other stuff like Good Will Hunting. We're gonna do reviews for what's the other movie I'm thinking of with Tom Cruise with the casino.
I think I know what you're talking about. I can't remember the name.
Rayman. We're going to be doing
Yeah,
Rayman. We're going to do a review on Rayman.
I do with my recommendation. I would go with. You should check out what was it called? Deer Hunter. Deer Hunter is pretty good.
Yeah, I'll check that one out for sure.
About it's a good story about mental health on that one too.
Okay. Thank you. I'll definitely check that out. We're also doing One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, which had Nicholson as well. So we have a lot of stuff in store for you at Movie Lovers Unite and stuff like that for next month. We're also doing Marvel May. So we're also going to be reviewing some Marvel movies as well. So you guys can check that out too whenever you guys can. Another thing too is, guys, going ahead and I'm going to let Quentin go in and tell you where he can be followed at and all that other good stuff.
I was off guard.
It's the Brutus again, isn't it?
Yes, Brutus. Get out of here, Brutus. You can follow me on Severe Comics on Facebook, or you can visit my website www.severecomics.com. All my comments you can read all my comments for $1 a month. Pretty much all comic books you can read, with many more content to come.
All right. And guys, you guys can go on and follow me at Movie Lovers TV Loves Unite on Facebook and also on Instagram as well, and on Pinterest underneath the same name. Also, too, go on ahead, hit that like button, hit that share button as well. Also, too, if you guys want to donate a couple of dollars towards me, how do you do that? Just go to www.gofundme.com/Movie Lovers Podcast. Donate $5 to $10 there. This is just to keep the lights on here at Movie Lovers Unite. Another thing too is if you want to go on ahead and give me an email or anything like that, go on ahead and email me at movieloversunite@gmail.com. You guys can also wind up checking me out at 3 o'clock Central Time, 4 o'clock Eastern Time on Mount Schmodown, part of Schmoes of the North YouTube channel over there on Saturdays. And then also too, you guys can go on ahead and get a audio only podcast episode wherever you guys get your podcasts from. And then of course follow me on Movie Lovers Unit over there on Twitter, on stereo underneath the same name of Movie Lovers Unit over there. And that's all the places that you can reach me at. Always until next time, guys, it's been real, it's been fun, it's been a pleasure. Thank you again, Quentin, for coming on the show to review this movie. I had a blast doing it. Can't wait to have you again. And always until next time, guys, bye-bye.
See ya.